All right, all right. Next up, oh, first of all, thank you, Emily Lai from Hype, for her presentation. Amazing visuals and really good breakdown. Up next, have you guys seen Avengers? Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame? Well, do you want better? This is the Web3 version, Wallet Endgame, how key store rollups are enabling the future of wallets for humans and AI. Right now, we have Sean Lee from Magic Labs and Jane Lippencott from Volt Capital. Give a warm welcome to Jane and Sean.
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for being here. I'm going to do a quick poll of the audience before we get started with our panel. I would love for you to raise your hand if you already have a crypto wallet. Okay, cool. So not a lot of beginners in the audience. Good to know. We have a great panel today. We're going to talk about AI, user experience, and then a couple exciting product launches from Magic. I'm going to kick off by a category about AI. AI is reshaping so many parts of our world today, and wallets have not fundamentally shifted to accommodate AI agents or AI-powered interactions. So I'd love to hear from you. Are wallets the weak link in crypto's future, especially as it has to do with AI? And what is missing from the wallet stack today?
Yeah, it's a great question. I would say when we first started Magic, it was a very simple ecosystem. Where it's just Ethereum, one chain, kind of one wallet, very few protocols that people use. But now that's evolved quite a bit. So now there's huge amount of fragmentation that's caused by the proliferation of chains. But also, there's just so much more apps and protocols. So in a way, we solved the wallet creation problem, but onboarding, there's so much more to go. Like, it's still very difficult for end users to engage with DeFi, which is sort of this use case that lasted multiple cycles. Like what's slippage, what's yield optimization, all of that is very, very difficult. So, but with the rapid improvement in AI, that barrier of entry could be simplified by quite a bit for just the everyday user. Like, imagine a open AI operator that can kind of manage your finance for you. Like, I could send my friend 1,000 USDC, and that's automatically generating yields. And I think that's a really great way to convey the magic in the Web3 experience and to communicate that wow factor.
Security is on top of everyone's mind right now with the recent Bybit hack. Also, a recent chain analysis report highlighted that over $2 billion was lost in crypto in 2024 alone. I'd love to understand from your perspective what the largest vulnerability is today in wallets that might be overlooked by other people building the space or even by your everyday user.
I would say there's two parts to this. One is currently wallets have very basic permissioning. So for example, there's no you're literally pushing the assets from one address to another. But I think the right model should be that the user is sort of setting authorization, like max spend limit. Here's the duration that you can send. Here are the conditions and predefined rules to send this transaction. And that's sort of being solved with a lot of the session keys, permissions kind of effort. But also, I think a lot of the oversight around security in Web3 is that everybody is very focused on the kind of the architecture. It kind of, in a way, it's like security theater. But ultimately, where a lot of these people get hacked is from social engineering, which requires a lot of great corporate security measures, making sure that no weird things are installed on your employees' computers, compliances such as SOC 2 Type 2 or ISO, all, just having really great security kind of fundamentals would help there as well.
Interoperability and composability have both been buzzwords in crypto for the past couple of years, but most wallets are not multi-chain, or multi-chain experiences that do exist are relatively weak. What do you think true operability will look like in crypto in the near term?
I think there's multiple phases, right? So you start with an interoperable wallet that can go across applications. That's one of the earliest kind of wow factors of crypto. You can use one wallet across many applications. So that's solved. The second one is chain abstraction, making sure the users can interact seamlessly across chains. There's a lot of great new technology that allows that, like Intents across, even like Rhinestone with their Omni account. So there's a lot of great development there that helps with that cross-chain interoperability. But in the future, I think with AI, you could actually abstract away the concept of dApps and applications completely. You're just user trying to get something done, and then on the back end, it automates and aggregates everything for you, so that the user don't have to actually click through all of these dApp UIs, protocols, and chains, and everything's kind of just automated away. So I would say that's like the ultimate version, but yeah, there's like one step at a time right now.
Yeah, a lot of people see a future where users perform semantic commands, and in the back end, there's some sort of like permissioned dApp store or app store that agents can interact with directly to get whatever a user wants done efficiently and in a cost-effective way. How do we balance this automation vision that we're all so excited about with control and like user privacy and all of like the fundamental guarantees that brought us into crypto in the first place?
Yeah, I think that's where it gets pretty interesting, because if the AI is so smart, you don't really want to limit it too much, but you also can't use it without the right guardrails. So then it comes in two parts. So one, there's kind of the permissioning and authorizing assets that we talked about, from session keys, but we believe that it can get a bit more expressive than it currently is. Like, hey, you can only make this transaction if the slippage is under this. And I think that on one hand is very important. And second part is being able to actually trust the automation, right? Not just like AI agents, but like also Telegram bots or just simple automation scripts. Just being able to trust that it's actually doing what it's supposed to do. Like kind of currently with Telegram bots, for example, a lot of people use it, by the way. Like this Trojan bot processed 16 billion over the past year. It's like super incredible, but users literally have to give it a private key with asset in it. So like not very like long term, but and also you don't really know that it's actually doing what it's claiming to do. So I think the verifiable aspect of automation is absolutely key as the other components to enable this.
You mentioned key management there. How do you feel about seed phrases long term? Do you think users will be interacting with seed phrases in 2028?
I think the seed phrase thing is pretty solved. I feel like, when we started in 2019, we actually launched in ETHDenver. It was the first like embed wallet. So you can create a non-custodial wallet with a Web2, Web3 login. And since then, there's been, it's becoming really a standard. And there's not really a need to kind of, that seed phrase problem is solved. But now it's more like, okay, you have these fragmented embed wallet just sprinkled all across. So like, how do you develop that relationship with end users? How do you, what if the user wants to kind of migrate into another wallet? So I think onboarding is one factor, creating this wallet, but making sure the user stay within the wallet and continue to use it, that's another whole exercise.
Aside from the semantic abstraction layer we talked about earlier, what are other ways that you think AI agents can explicitly work to improve the user experience for people interacting with crypto?
I think AI helps really lower that barrier of entry. It's like, hey, here's some like for example, like right now discovering applications based on what you want to do, that's kind of challenging. But with AI, they can kind of based on what your input and your intentions sort of generate a bunch of like tool calls, right? And then they can kind of interact with all these protocols without you actually kind of trying to discover it and then take the action on it. And I think this sort of is happening in the Web2 world as well, where before you go on Google, right? It's like, okay, here's some idea around what I do. I try to find a website. I try to vet the website. I look through the products and everything, and then click, check out. So from intent to getting the action done, there's like a lot of areas where users can drop off. Whereas I think now with AI, you can shorten that path from A to B by quite a bit. So, and I think that applies to Web3 and sort of financial side of this as well.
Definitely agree with you there. I want to move on to Newton, if that's okay. Magic recently announced Newton, which is a verifiable automation layer that enables any wallet to create agents on autopilot. There are a lot of potentials for Newton to help improve UX, but I'd love to double click on some of the gaps we explicitly addressed already in this panel. How will Newton work to solve those for end users?
Yeah, so the Newton is based on sort of this philosophy around a Endgame wallet. You know, what does wallet look like to sort of address this future version where there's like AI, right? So I would say the wallets should consist of 3 key pillars. One is like automatable. For example, a wallet could delegate to any other wallet or agent or bots or automation scripts to take action on its behalf. And all of that is done in a way without transferring custody, right, to the other party. So that's automatable. We have modular, which means the users can progressively enhance their security based on their evolving needs. So here we're kind of using the Rhinestone 7579 modular smart wallet that have these modules. For example, you can add like social recovery, 2FA, passkey, like super easy. And then last but not least is around interoperable. So the wallet can be used across apps, cross chains. So with these 3 pillars, Newton consists of 2 parts. One is the Newton account, that is the modular smart wallet. And then there is the Newton key store, which enables the automation part of this. So it's a purpose-built roll-up that's based actually on Vitalik's key store roll-up. And that's going to be able to, one, synchronize your wallet config and permissions to all the chains that support it, and 2, enable that, ensure that any automation by a third party is done within the user's predefined rules. If it's agent, it will be kind of like the code of law for agents. And then actually making sure that the script is verified, the automation is doing what it's claiming to do. And on top of that, you can have predefined rules and permissions that's pretty expressive. Not only it can be stateful or kind of based on like KOL sentiments or things like that. So that kind of really opens opens up the possibility and sort of introduce this kind of like permissioning and automation as a primitive, right, in on-chain. So yeah.
Very cool. One of the promises of the Ethereum virtual computer is programmability. I would love for you to address how Newton enhances programmability for the wallet space.
Yeah, I think that comes in with the automation piece. So that is what we want to enable. So instead of kind of user going through all of these like different applications, learning the UI, UX, and all of that, we want to make sort of Newton a platform where developers or like agent developers, even Web2 developers, they can easily write like automation and sort of deploy that with Newton. And you can then have the users access the programs that's deployed. And then the program by default is like verifiable or verified, kind of like little containers that's deployed in the TE infrastructure. So yeah, like we want to kind of shift the paradigm and do things a little differently because AI is eating UI. It's solving a lot of these usability challenges for us. So we're kind of just naturally adapting to that and figuring out new ways that applications in Web3 can be built.
And how will the user onboarding experience and then experience in the platform feel?
So that's sort of where the Newton wallet experience that we're launching soon that will come in is sort of to demonstrate this experience for the protocol. So very simple still, you can log in with like passkey email, very simple to get a wallet. But then they can be now exposed to like a bunch of like automation things that they can engage with, like copy trading friends, yield optimization, all of that is kind of being handled in the background. And so yeah, just overall the vision is to create this wallet that can self-drive for you. You know, like self-driving cars, you can have self-driving wallets that can like trade when you're sleeping and things like that.
So by now I think we have a good sense of how AI is embedded into the wallet itself. Can AI agents actually use the wallet, and what would their experience look like?
I would say the AI agent can, in a way, like remote control the wallet. So let's say the agent could use any wallet themselves, but the user can sort of delegate permission to these other wallets that can act on its behalf. So this way, you're not directly transferring your assets into the agent. The agent is sort of remote controlling the master wallet with its permissions.
I think one of the things I'm excited for in the next couple of years is for the paradigm of wallets to shift beyond just a place where users go to store assets. I think that's beginning, but we have a lot further to go. How do you imagine the shift will look, and where will it bring us by 2030 or so?
I would say we kind of got really inspired with this this fat wallet thesis by Delphi. I think we might even see a pendulum swing back into wallets. So what I mean by that is there's so many chains doing their own thing, a lot of complexity, but they're not really kind of building that great user experience or really connecting with the end users. And I think that's where it matters a lot. That's how you get the order flow. That's how you get liquidity distribution, is to form that end user experience. And given a regulatory environment that's sort of lightening up, you're going to see a lot of these wallets start to integrate all of this like DeFi and being able to do DeFi and sort of like, for example, ETHDenver would just be able to launch like Kaido right away when like the centralized exchanges actually will take a while to list them. So I think there's like a window of opportunities for a wallet to really start gaining traction, distribution. So yeah, I feel like in the next 30 years, the users will stay within the experience that they value the most, and all the protocol interaction, all the complexity, that's kind of all being abstracted away in the background. So
it sounds like you believe the real opportunity to scale a wallet company is actually ahead of us, even though you've been building Magic for many years now. If we were in 2030 now and looking back, what would you regret not having done ahead of this next cycle in terms of building the product, maybe like targeting a specific user base, onboarding the AIs? I would just love to hear, like, maybe if you could outline what your priorities are going forward.
I think we're doing what the most of what we can do right now, and the thing that I genuinely want to do the most. And it's a funny story. Back in 2019, the first version of Magic Wallet was a kind of interoperable universal wallet. And one thing that we try to do is, hey, like maybe the regulatory environment not super friendly, but maybe we kind of go a SaaS route. We build this embed wallet, and maybe apps can kind of customize it. And what ended up happening is now there's like even more fragmentation, and some of the benefits of Web3 is not being kind of really tapped into from that interoperability. So now we're kind of going back to our roots, and all the technology is now ready, on the smart wallet side, on the kind of DeFi side, on the AI side. So yeah, I think it's like a perfect storm to create the next perfect wallet that sticks to the Endgame wallet principle. So yeah, that's what we're working on now.
Well, thank you so much for setting the table with us and explaining Magic's new product, Newton. Thank you, guys. You've been a great audience.
Thank you.